Life sometimes feels like a roller coaster ride, doesn't it? One moment you're on top of the world, and the next you're at the bottom, feeling frustrated with people around you. Human emotions are a complex web of experiences, reactions, and feelings. They are the essence of our existence, shaping our perception of the world and influencing our actions. It's a fascinating spectacle of the human condition, isn't it? At the heart of this emotional labyrinth is the feeling of frustration towards others, a sentiment that most of us experience at some point. It's a natural response to differing viewpoints, misunderstandings, and the simple fact that we are all unique individuals with our own quirks, beliefs, and habits. Delving into the psychology behind these feelings illuminates why we feel this way. Our brains are wired to experience a broad spectrum of emotions, from joy and love to anger and frustration. This emotional diversity is not a design flaw, but rather a testament to our adaptability and survival. Our emotions are our internal compass, guiding us through the maze of human interactions. They alert us when something is amiss, prompting introspection and change. So when you feel frustrated with someone, it's your mind asking you to pause, reflect, and perhaps reassess the situation. But here's the key takeaway. Feeling frustration towards others does not make you flawed or unkind. It's a part of the shared human experience, a thread that binds us all together. It's a reminder that we are all works in progress, navigating our way through the complexities of life, learning, growing, and evolving. So the next time you feel a twinge of annoyance towards someone, remember, it's not a sign of your inadequacy. It's a sign of your humanity. It's an opportunity to understand yourself and others better, to foster empathy, and to build stronger, more meaningful connections. Remember, feeling this way doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you human. Ever wondered why certain people or behaviors just grind your gears? Well, it's not as simple as waking up on the wrong side of the bed. There's a lot more to it, and it all starts within us. Firstly, let's talk about personal boundaries. We each have a unique set of boundaries, both physical and emotional, that we expect others to respect. When someone crosses these boundaries, it can feel like a personal invasion, causing annoyance. For instance, you might feel annoyed when someone stands too close to you in a queue, or when a friend shares your secret. Secondly, a lack of understanding can be another source of irritation. If you've ever felt frustrated when someone couldn't grasp your point of view, you know what I mean. It's not just about agreeing or disagreeing, but rather about understanding and accepting different perspectives. Now, let's not forget our personality differences. We all have unique characteristics, traits, and quirks that make us who we are. These differences can sometimes clash with others, leading to annoyance. Imagine being a punctual person stuck with someone who's always late. It's like fitting a square peg into a round hole, right? Another reason we get annoyed are unmet expectations. We all have certain expectations from people and situations. When these aren't met, we tend to feel irritated or disappointed. For example, you might get annoyed when your partner forgets your anniversary, or when your favorite coffee shop runs out of your favorite brew. Now, it's important to remember that these are just common reasons. There's a myriad of factors that can cause annoyance, and it can vary greatly from person to person. Psychological research backs up these points, affirming that annoyance is a complex emotion influenced by personal factors and the environment around us. So next time you feel that familiar prick of annoyance, take a step back. Try to understand what's triggering it. Is it a crossed boundary, a misunderstanding, a personality clash, or an unmet expectation? Identifying the root cause might help you manage your feelings better. Now you have an idea of why certain people or behaviors might rub you the wrong way. Did you know your environment plays a significant role in your emotions? It's a fascinating fact, isn't it? Our surroundings, the spaces we inhabit, and the conditions we live in can powerfully influence our feelings towards others. Let's dive deeper into this. Picture yourself in a noisy, overcrowded room where you're constantly bumping elbows with strangers. The noise level is high and personal space is virtually non-existent. How would you feel? If you're like most people, you probably feel a bit irritated, maybe even exasperated. And this irritation can often extend to your feelings towards the people around you. This isn't just conjecture. Multiple studies confirm that environmental factors like noise, overcrowding, and lack of personal space can significantly increase irritation and annoyance. One study found that people subjected to high levels of noise reported higher levels of annoyance and lower levels of well-being. Another study found that overcrowding can lead to feelings of stress, which can exacerbate feelings of frustration and annoyance. But it's not just about physical discomfort. Our environment can also shape our social interactions. For instance, in a crowded, noisy environment, it's harder to have meaningful conversations or form connections with others. This lack of connection can lead to feelings of isolation, which in turn can increase feelings of frustration and annoyance. And let's not forget about the impact of our built environment. Have you ever noticed how you feel more at ease in a well-designed, aesthetically pleasing space? That's because our surroundings can influence our mood and emotions. A cluttered, poorly lit room can make us feel stressed and irritable, while a clean, well-lit space can make us feel calm and relaxed. So it's clear that our environment plays a crucial role in shaping our emotions and our feelings towards others. It can either soothe and calm us, or rile us up and make us feel frustrated. So the next time you're feeling frustrated, take a look around. Your environment might be playing a role. It's a simple tip, but it can make a world of difference in understanding our emotions and improving our relationships. Feeling frustrated is one thing, but knowing how to handle it is another. Frustration can be a complex, layered emotion, often a reaction to a situation where we feel cornered, misunderstood, or powerless. But the good news is, there are effective ways to handle it. It all starts with identifying the source of your frustration. Is it a person, a situation, or perhaps an aspect of yourself that you're struggling with? Once you've pinpointed the root cause, you can start addressing it. Now let's talk about some strategies. First, try taking deep breaths. It might sound cliche, but there's a good reason for it. Deep breathing helps slow your heart rate and allows your body to feel more at ease. It gives your mind a momentary pause, creating space for clearer thinking. Next, don't be afraid to step away from the situation if you can. Sometimes, a change of scenery or a few moments of solitude can make a world of difference. It provides an opportunity to calm down and gain a fresh perspective. Seeking understanding is another crucial step. This involves putting yourself in the other person's shoes and trying to see things from their point of view. It's not about agreeing with them or justifying their actions, but rather about developing a broader perspective. This can often lead to empathy, which in turn can diminish feelings of frustration. Lastly, don't forget the power of communication. Expressing your feelings openly, honestly, and respectfully can help alleviate frustration. It's about voicing your concerns without attacking or blaming the other person. And remember, it's equally important to listen to their side of the story too. One last thing, be patient with yourself. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's a natural human emotion. The key is not to let it consume you. Practice these strategies, and over time, you'll find you're better equipped to handle frustrating situations. Remember, it's not about eliminating frustration, but managing it. So take a deep breath, step back, seek understanding, communicate effectively, and most importantly, show yourself some compassion. You've got this. Scene script. Empathy is a powerful tool. It helps us understand others better. It's like a bridge, connecting our island of personal experiences to the mainland of human existence. Empathy is more than just feeling what another person feels. It's understanding why they feel it and how it shapes their world. Let's delve into this a little deeper. When someone is upset, it's easy to get irked, especially if their behavior seems irrational or unjustified to us. But when we employ empathy, we get a glimpse into their perspective. We start to understand that their reactions may be a result of past experiences, current stresses, or even just a bad day. It's like unearthing a treasure chest of context, and suddenly their behavior isn't so inexplicable anymore. Research shows that empathy has a multitude of benefits. It's been linked to higher levels of happiness and lower levels of stress. In fact, a study from the University of Michigan showed that students who practiced empathy experienced less stress during exam periods. It's the same principle when dealing with frustrating people. If we can empathize with them, if we can understand their actions, we can alleviate our own frustration. Empathy also fosters connection. By understanding someone else's experiences, we can bridge the gap between us and them. It helps us to communicate more effectively, to resolve conflicts, and to build stronger relationships. It's the glue that binds us together as a society, helping us to navigate the complexities of human interaction. But here's the catch. Empathy is not about agreeing with someone. It's not about condoning their actions or letting them off the hook. It's about understanding their perspective, their feelings, their motivations. It's about seeing the world through their eyes, even if just for a moment. It's important to remember that we all have different experiences and backgrounds. We all have our own unique lens through which we view the world. Empathy is about recognizing and respecting these differences, about understanding that there's more than one way to see things. Empathy is not about agreeing with others, but understanding them. It's about embracing our shared humanity and acknowledging that we're all just trying to navigate this complex, beautiful, sometimes frustrating world as best we can. Improving our relationships with others can often reduce feelings of frustration. It's a simple truth, yet it's one we often forget. We live in a world that revolves around relationships, whether they're with family, friends, colleagues, or even with ourselves. These relationships can bring us joy, but they can also be sources of frustration when they're not working as we'd like. So how do we improve these relationships and reduce our frustration? Well, the answer is threefold: communication, setting boundaries, and understanding. Firstly, let's look at communication. It's the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It's how we express our thoughts, feelings, and needs. But it's not just about talking, it's about listening too. Active listening, where we truly hear and understand what the other person is saying, can be a game changer in improving our relationships. When we listen, we show that we value the other person and their perspective. Next, setting boundaries. This might sound a bit formal, but it's really about defining what's acceptable and what's not in a relationship. It's about mutual respect and understanding each other's limits. Boundaries can be about time, space, emotions, or even topics of conversation. They help protect our well-being and ensure that our relationships are healthy and balanced. Lastly, understanding. This is about putting ourselves in the other person's shoes. It's about empathy. By understanding where the other person is coming from, we can better understand their actions and reactions. It doesn't mean we have to agree with them, but it does mean we can better navigate our interactions with them. So, let's start practicing these three things. Let's communicate more openly and honestly. Let's set clear boundaries, and let's strive to understand each other better. It may take time, it may be challenging, but remember, the quality of our relationships can greatly influence our overall happiness and life satisfaction. Improving relationships isn't always easy, but it's worth the effort. After all, we are social creatures, and our connections with others are a vital part of our existence. Let's make those connections the best they can be. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it? We've delved into the intricacies of human emotions, understood why we sometimes get annoyed, and explored how our environment can influence our feelings. We've learned how to handle frustration, discovered the transformative power of empathy, and brainstormed ways to improve our relationships. Let's not forget that it is perfectly okay to feel frustrated or annoyed with others. It's a part of being human. But the crux of the matter lies in managing these feelings. It's all about channeling these emotions in a way that doesn't hinder our growth or damage our relationships. So, take a step back, breathe, and remember to embrace your journey. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns, but it's uniquely yours. And within this journey lies the opportunity to grow and learn. Remember, everyone is on their own journey. Understanding, empathy, and patience can make yours a little smoother.